And then during the project, we end up in the dystopian future. So for us, and the question for us, the question it's what now, when this life after disaster is becoming life with disaster, when where and when speculations became our reality, where there are no anymore this techno-heroic future, as Ursula Le Guin was talking about, where speculative future-orientated design practices now becoming more and more ever mainstream practices, where speculation are becoming a reality. When we see that these all narratives are back, the technology will be crucial in our survival in the future. And all this opens a new series of questions for the speculative design practice, dealing with the past, present, and the future past parts of the practice. And at the first look, the most visible legacy of the speculative design practice is a number of projects dealing with the dystopian futures. We have seen in the past tons of the project dealing with different kinds of disasters, diseases, wars, climate disaster, totalitarian state, technological dystopias, etc., etc. This one, for example, was from 2007, Sheer Candy, and it was like related with the bird flu, time, or it was like it started to begin as a kind of pandemic disease. In that time, there was like lots of speculation about this situation in 2017. And we hear from our community, there is lots of arguments like, we have told you, you didn't prepare, you haven't done anything to avoid this, but we have to be very critical, since those youths living in the despair, and when this state of the practice, when dystopians are becoming normality. But from the positive side, if you look into the recent disasters, when we talk about these disasters, we are not talking about just pandemic. There is like lots of disasters around us, war in Ukraine, different small disasters, but of course the biggest one, which is like standing above all of us, is the climate change disasters. From this positive side, we see a number of great, efficient, alternative, bottom-up methods to deal with pandemics, often coming from the margins, economical and geographical margins, for example, and including collaborative practices like permaculture, makers community, community and do-it-yourself media, and others. One example from our perspective, it's we got like really strong earthquake in Croatia in 2021, and we have seen that, you know, this bottom-up self-organized community actions has been proved as a faster and offered better results than government top-down systemic mechanism for dealing with disasters. And after the project, we were interested in what we have learned in this almost 20 years of the practice, and how to use this knowledge in the future. As I said before, the speculative design appeared as a result of dissatisfaction with the state of design and the design education over the many years, but also state of the world, of course. And we hope that it has created a small foundation of design to move forward. And we see also that one of the important ways is via education, and it could offer some insights how to help or how to answer these important questions, how we can educate students for the decades to come. And to contribute to this discussion, we published a book, which is including our overview of the practice with reflection of the past. We are choosing historical references. On the present, we select case studies and employed approaches, tools, and methods. And future part with this critical view of the speculative practice. And the book is here. And at the end of the book, we have summarized a kind of it is kind of manifesto, or we summarized a few challenges that aim to improve the ways in which we teach, perform, and evaluate it, not just speculative but design in the project. These challenges deal with or talk about that if we are going to reclaim the future, we need to start from the present. So present is important for us, not just the future. That we have to focus on the real world and remove ourselves from these glamorous dystopian words from the future. For the future, and the design is about both means and ends. That we should not forget the design always has consequences. And that we should start with actions now and here, not waiting for some disaster, the apocalyptic scenarios, apocalyptic scenarios in the future to start from the scratch. That we could learn from the margins in the periphery. The design practice is in collaboration and participation, and the design and practice is primarily still local. And as one of our colleagues said, the speculation is a duty, not a privilege. You can still buy the book via our online distribution, but if you write me, there is still free for educational institutions, libraries, different courses, so you can order it for free from us. And that's basically all for this lecture or presentation. You can find more things or more info on our social networks. And now I'm gonna open this panel for the question, discussion, comments, anything you want to learn more about this practice. As I said before, it's a multidisciplinary practice. It's something which could be part of your future, part of research or personal practice or academic research.